The village of Redmoor had always lived under the shadow of an old superstition, that deep within the forest, hidden under layers of fog and rotting leaves, lay a pond formed from the tears of a witch. No one knew her name anymore, nor how long ago she had walked the earth, but the elders insisted that she was betrayed by the villagers, drowned in that very pond, and that her spirit lingered beneath its black surface, waiting, watching, whispering to the lonely. For generations, the people stayed away, warning their children never to wander near the water after dusk, because the witch sought warmth, breath, and souls to keep her alive. But such warnings meant nothing to 16-year-old Amelia Grayson, who viewed the world not with fear, but with an unbreakable curiosity. Amelia had moved to Redmoor only weeks earlier after her mother, Clara Grayson, inherited her late aunt's crumbling countryside house. The place was dim, dust-filled, and creaking with old memories Amelia couldn't recognize. As soon as they arrived, whispers started, about her aunt, about strange noises around the forest, and about the pond that even animals refused to drink from. Instead of fear, Amelia felt excitement. She was a photography enthusiast who loved forgotten places, abandoned ruins, and eerie landscapes no one else dared to explore. So when she first heard of the witch's pond, she knew she had to see it. Her mother begged her not to go. "We're guests here. Respect the land, the stories, even the foolish ones," Clara warned, gripping Amelia's shoulders with trembling hands. But Amelia saw something else in her mother's eyes, a deeper fear, something personal, something she wasn't saying. That night, Amelia found an old journal in her aunt's room, buried under a pile of yellowed blankets. The journal entries were frantic, scribbled, and incomplete. Lines like, "She watches me from the water," "The pond knows my voice," and "I hear her crying at night," chilled Amelia far more than any village tale. Her aunt had been frequenting the pond. Why? The last entry simply read, "She wants the girl." Amelia didn't know whether the girl meant her aunt, her mother, or someone else. But she felt its pull. The next morning, defying her mother's pleas, Amelia ventured into the forest with her camera and boots caked in dew and mud. The forest grew denser as she walked, the air thicker, heavy with the scent of moss and decay. Silence pressed in around her, broken only by the occasional snap of a twig or the distant caw of a crow. After nearly an hour, she saw it, a clearing surrounded by ancient, twisted trees that arched over a dark pool of still water. The witch's pond. It was smaller than she imagined, no bigger than a large room, but the water was unnaturally black, as if it swallowed all reflection. No sunbeam could penetrate it. Amelia lifted her camera, but the moment she focused the lens, the air shifted. The forest grew colder. A soft ripple spread across the pond, though there was no wind. It was then she heard it, the faint sound of crying. At first, she thought it was an animal, but the sound rose and fell like a human wail, soft, grieving, hopeless. The ground beneath her shoes vibrated slightly, like the earth itself was humming with sorrow. Against every instinct, Amelia stepped closer. "Hello," she whispered. The surface of the pond quivered, as if something beneath had stirred. A pale shape rose slowly, breaking the water surface, long white fingers, swollen from decay, crawling upward like a hand reaching for salvation. Amelia stumbled back, breath frozen, as a ghastly face emerged, sunken eyes, hollow cheeks, long wet hair clinging to her skeletal jaw. The spirit looked at her with a mixture of pain and hunger. "Bring her to me," the witch whispered, her voice echoing like wind through a hollow cave. "The one who escaped. Bring her back." Amelia ran. She tore through the forest, branches clawing her arms, her breath scraping her lungs. When she reached home, her mother was already crying, almost as if she knew where Amelia had gone. "You shouldn't have seen her," Clara whispered shakily. That night, her mother finally told her the truth. The witch's legend was real, but incomplete. The villagers had indeed drowned the witch centuries ago, but before she died, she placed a curse upon all women of a certain bloodline, Clara's bloodline. Every generation, the eldest daughter would be called by the witch's pond, lured in by visions, whispers, and dreams until she eventually drowned herself, feeding the witch's power. Clara had been called when she was Amelia's age, but she escaped, thanks to Amelia's aunt, who sacrificed herself to break the ritual. The witch wasn't asking Amelia to bring Clara physically. She wanted the bloodline completed, the curse fulfilled. "She wants you," Clara said, voice cracking. "You are next." That night, Amelia dreamed of the pond, the witch rising, hair floating around her like dark ribbons, eyes burning with cold fire. "Come," the witch whispered. "I'm lonely." Over the next few days, Amelia changed. She grew pale, distracted, drawn to the forest. At times, she heard footsteps behind her even inside the house. The sound of dripping water echoed in her room at night, though nothing was leaking. Her mother tried desperately to keep her inside, but the call grew stronger. Then, one night, the crying returned, but this time from outside her bedroom window. When Amelia looked out, she saw the reflection of the pond in the glass, even though the forest was miles away. And behind her reflection stood the witch. "I waited for you," she hissed. That same moment, the house groaned loudly, as if something heavy had leaned against it from the outside. The front door slammed open on its own. The lights flickered. Water pooled across the living room floor, forming a trail leading toward the forest. Clara grabbed Amelia's hands. "Fight her," she pleaded. But the witch's voice filled Amelia's skull, drowning out her mother's words. "You belong to me." In a trance, Amelia walked out of the house, stepping barefoot into the cold mud. Clara followed, screaming for her daughter, grabbing her shoulders, pulling her back. But the forest itself seemed to help the witch, branches twisting like fingers, pushing Clara away. The pond glowed faintly ahead, as if lit from beneath. When Amelia reached the edge, the witch stood upon the water's surface, no longer decayed, but beautiful, young, shimmering with unnatural grace. "Come, child," she offered, her hand smooth and pale. "Your mother stole your fate, but I will return what was meant to be." Amelia hesitated for a moment. Then, as the witch smiled, something clicked in Amelia's mind. Her aunt's last journal entry. She wants the girl. The witch wasn't just lonely. She was hungry. Suddenly, Clara burst through the branches, bruised, bleeding, but determined. She grabbed Amelia and pulled her back with a strength that seemed impossible. "She won't take you," Clara screamed. The witch shrieked, her beautiful form flickering into something monstrous, skin cracking, eyes burning red. The pond boiled beneath her. Tendrils of water shot upward, wrapping around Amelia's legs, trying to drag her in. Clara held on desperately, screaming her daughter's name. For a moment, Amelia felt her mind slipping, her body relaxing into the witch's call. But then she saw her mother's face, terrified, shaking, but refusing to let go. Something inside Amelia broke free. With a scream, she stomped her foot, shattering the water tendrils. The witch shrieked in rage as Amelia grabbed a fallen lantern on the ground and hurled it into the pond. The fire spread rapidly, igniting the surface. The witch howled, her form melting, her voice cracking like breaking glass. "This isn't over," she screeched before the flames swallowed her. The pond bubbled violently and then went silent. By morning, the forest felt lighter. The air was warmer. The pond had dried completely, leaving behind cracked earth and burnt roots. The curse was broken. Amelia and Clara returned home, exhausted but alive. For weeks, the villagers spoke of the bright flames they saw rising from the forest that night. Some said the witch was gone. Others believed she would return. But Amelia knew the truth. The witch's final whisper still echoed in her dreams. "Curses don't die, they wait."